Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, audience, wherever you are, watching and listening to me. Welcome to this edition of Yoruba Autonomy Mobile Radio and Television Open Editorial Monologue. In this episode, I will be talking about two important towns in the Yoruba enclaves in Nigeria. I will be talking and digging into old Oyo, the Oyo Empire, and Ile-Ife, that acclaims itself to be the cradle of the Yoruba people or Yoruba race. Come with me, let us go. We know for a fact that Oyo was a great empire spanning hundreds of years. It can boast of warriors, people that were forward-looking, and there were conquerors for the empire. And also, we know that Ile-Ife, is said to be, in the history of it, the cradle of Yoruba people. Meaning that Ife was the center place of being of the Yoruba people. However, let me ask this question. Where was Ife when Oyo was a powerful empire spanning all along from Benin to Mali in the days of Mansa Musa and all that? It was a great country by itself, a nation. And the people that are Yoruba of the time, they gave it to Oyo. They supported Oyo. They fight for the Alaafi. They accepted the Alaafi of the time as their ruler because they know the Alaafi was powerful. And he at that time, he who has, as in today, who has gone has the power. Who has the sword at that time was the Alaafi. And the entire Yoruba enclave gave it that, well, most of the Obas of Yoruba homeland gave it to the Alaafi of Oyo. They accepted him as their head, as head of the Obas. And there were so many different stories. Now they have Ile-Ife as the seat of the crown, that Oduduwa, said to be the father of the Yorubas, which was not really true. Oduduwa was not the father of the Yorubas, because before Oduduwa arrived in Yoruba homeland, we've had Obas in Yoruba homelands. We have great empires before the arrival of Oduduwa. We have kings that can hold on their own. So Oduduwa, any one of those foolish writers writing that Oduduwa was the father of the Yorubas and all that doesn't know what they are talking about. Oduduwa was a slave trader. And because people were afraid, they do not want his henchmen to grab them and sell them or their children into slavery. They were saying, they were paying homage to him as their father. And they were saying he was their father. So that's how all that saying started. He was the reason why we started having tribal marks from different places to indicate who you are, where you come from, and what it is to be you in the Yoruba homeland. So when Oduduwa was given the reign of being considered or to be the father of the entire tribe that he met, it's really funny. But that story has become legends. And when you try to like debunk it, people will be looking at you with their nose rather than their face. I am an Ondo man. I do not subscribe to that telltale story, because right there at Ugbo was where Oduduwa was asked to go to Ife when Obatala was the king. Obatala was the Oni in Ile-Ife at that time. Let anyone come and dispute this, that when Oduduwa arrived, Obatala was not the king at Ife. So we know who was what, and we know our history. There are those who doesn't know it, who are just writing the history. They are just writing to sell books, to make money. That's what it's all about. So, how could Oyo be made better than it is right now? Yes, Oyo had a very, very great kingdom. It was great. It was a great kingdom. It was a universe. But what brought Oyo down? Why was Oyo overcame? And what can be made better in Oyo today to make Oyo great again? It is not by conquest that the present day Alaafin want to get into. In words of words with the Ooni of Ife. And then every Yorubas wants to tag along either with Ooni or with the Alaafin. No, that is not where I think we should be going. As a people, we should be looking at what it is that can make Oyo great again today and make Ife become more vibrant, more viable, more commercial town for the people to be able to have good resources in the town. For the town to draw people from Lagos, from Aba, from Abeokuta, from all over the place to itself to come and make money, to make the town become expanded beyond the cultural center of the Yoruba that it is. And even as a cultural center, talking of cultural center, Ife should be made a cultural place of the Yoruba that can draw from each and every Yoruba hometown into that town to celebrate what it is to be Yoruba. We did a celebration in 2025 when we celebrated the 1,016 year of the Yoruba existence in Ile-Ife, reaching history time, when they did it as the Odun of Ifa. But we did not have so much of what it ought to be, what it could have been. It could have been made better if they started reaching out instead of just claiming to be, it is our thing, this is Ife thing. When we want to celebrate Yoruba, it is not an Ife thing alone. It is for all Yorubas to come along, tag along, dive into it, so that Ife can accommodate, bring about the best in investing corporations that wants to invest, bring investment to the town. Yes, Ife children and daughters, sons and daughters, they're well educated. They know how to make America a better country. They did it. I work with some of them here in America. So I know quite a number of Ife people. So also Oyo sons and daughters. So rather than engage in spiting ourselves, both Ife and Oyo should find a way to hug each other, to hold each other's hands, to lead each other. Both the Alaafin and the Ooni of Ife should be what Oba Sijuade used to be with the late Alaafin that just passed recently. I remember I was at Osun Osogbo celebration in sometimes in the late 2000s that we are in now, it was at the time of I cannot remember the name of this governor. But the governor was forward-looking, was a very, very forward-looking governor. Was a PDP governor, not because his PDP is the reason why I say he was forward-looking, but was a PDP governor at that time. The Ooni of Ife was there when the Alaafin arrived, and both of them, in a camaraderie manner, welcomed each other, and the entire hall where we did that event was, came alive with the two Obas. The two Obas can make Yoruba homeland the best place in the world when they meet, rather than confronting each other. They should stop all this richness, showmanship. They should stop it. They should let us, the indigenes, we are not subjects, we are indigenes of the Yoruba homeland. They should look for ways to bring us together to invest, to compete with investment. Let's have Ondo investment in Oyo, Ondo investment in Ife investment in Ondo, or your investment in Ondo, and all this kind of place, and bring Ibadan back alive. Because right now we have one of the best that can be Olubadan of Ibadan. The Olubadan we have right now is, have the potential to be one of the greatest Oba. Olubadan of Ibadan in modern history. Oba Adewolu promised to be a great Oba, and I'm betting on that. Those three Kabiyesi's in Yoruba homeland, they should find a way to make way and make waves. Not even just waves, create the avenue for investment. This serious investment to make the absence of electricity a thing of the past. Create a place where solar energy will be tapped for investment. In Oyo, solar energy tapped for investment at Ife. Solar energy tapped for investment in Osogbo, in Ibadan, in Ondo, in all those towns. Those annual township celebrations of songs and dances and all that, the money raised during this event should be tagged for electricity into what we will use for commercial development of the respective towns. Not for Obas to actually be tapping into it and be spending as if they were running tap water. Like the money raised in Ekimogun Day, we should have it set aside there for the town to tap into something that we will use to develop the town economically. Things that we will supplement NEPA, or even make us to forget about NEPA. Because if we can actually say, okay, let the town, for example, I am in support of Ondo West local government launching an event of fundraising for solar energy development in Ondo town. That money, we should contract those companies that can actually bring about solar energy, tap into it. The mirror thing that they will use to actually bring about solar energy. Get into contract with the companies. Get some companies to actually sign up to want to buy into it. And then we will have development. We should not even be waiting and all of the time for the state governors to do things. Local government, now that they are going to be getting the bulk of their own money by themselves, direct from the federal government of Nigeria, they should be able to tap into that. That is my penny's worth. Thank you all. God bless us.